People in the music and entertainment industry had to know that Diddy was like abusing kids, basically, and yet they still fed him kids. Where's the accountability?
There had to be rumors.
If Sean Combs watches this, what do you think he's going to feel?
Like, wow, this is amazing. I think he's going to say this is the best documentary I've seen in a long time. He may feel a different way about it, but he knows the truth.
What's happening to him now is one of the greatest tragedies that we're going to ever read about, bro.
Elon Musk and 50 Cent just dropped something wild. A truth bomb shaking the entire entertainment world. But here's the twist that's got everyone buzzing. Diddy might not be the real boss behind the scenes. He could actually be the distraction. If people thought he was the mastermind at the top, they might have been watching the wrong player this whole time. Sources say Elon isn't just talking. He's sitting on cold, hard receipts. We're talking years of data, private DMs, and behind-the-curtain info from the old Twitter days, now known as X. This isn't gossip. It's evidence that could flip the entire story overnight. Some people are mapping this whole thing like a power pyramid. At the bottom, names like Jay-Z and Beyonce. In the middle, major gatekeepers like Oprah and Clive Davis. And at the very top, one hidden name. The one they say ties it all together. And it doesn't end in studios or boardrooms. The influence stretches into image, power, and even the church scene. 50 Cent's been dropping hints about that side for months. And now it's starting to make sense. Things are about to get intense.
I believe that they gave me a raw deal because this fucking industry is a monster. It's the same monster that these Me Too bitches was trying to tell you about. But they hate the monster for how it fucks. And I hate that monster for how it eats. But my God, man, it's the same monster. When I quit the show, all my friends would say, well, fuck them, Dave. Why don't you just do Chappelle's show at another network? Yeah. And why doesn't a slave run from one plantation to another plantation because the master over there might be nicer? My God, man, I was trapped. You know what, to tell you the truth? I've even thought about coming back and doing another Chappelle show.
Before we climb deeper into this mess, let's get one thing straight. The Diddy situation stretches way beyond hip-hop. This isn't just a music story anymore. It's a power story that touches every corner of the entertainment world. 50 Cent came in swinging with his explosive documentary, The Reckoning, and he framed it in a way nobody else had the guts to do. His message hit hard. Silence makes the whole culture look guilty. So instead of staying quiet, he called it out. But things get darker from here. Because one of the biggest claims floating around is that Diddy allegedly had his home wired with hidden cameras. Not a few, but hundreds. Those cameras reportedly captured everything happening during those private after-hours parties. And people close to the situation say it wasn't just for entertainment. Commentators like Jaguar Wright and Gene Deal have painted a wild picture. They say the footage acted like leverage, insurance that could keep people in line without Diddy ever needing to threaten anyone directly. And now, word on the street is that those tapes are being quietly moved, sparking panic among some huge names who might be caught on them. So where does Elon Musk come into play? Here's where the story flips. Elon owns X, a platform holding years of private DMs and conversations between some of the most powerful people in the world, from celebrities to politicians. When Elon sat down with Joe Rogan, he didn't just drop hints. He straight up called out the massive difference between what people say online and what they really say behind closed doors. Things are getting tense.
How did you get that footage of Diddy?
I figured most journalists would not disclose their sources.
Does he know y'all have this in the doc?
I would doubt he knows.
So when this airs, that'll be the first time that his legal team, Diddy, that everybody knows that this footage is now seeing the light of day. Perhaps.
Elon Musk brought up Jennifer Lopez, not to spark some political debate, but as a credibility test. He basically asked, if people were that close to Diddy back then, where was the warning? Where was the alarm when things started looking off? And his point hit hard. There wasn't one. That single moment set the internet on fire because it opened up a question nobody wanted to face. If someone was right there in the circle and never said a word, what does that mean? Either they had no clue, which a lot of people find tough to believe, or they did know something and stayed quiet. And if they stayed quiet, then the next question burns even hotter. Why? Was it fear, loyalty, protecting an image, or was it protection of someone else even higher up the chain? Because now we start climbing this so-called pyramid, and at level 1, it begins with Jay-Z and Beyonce. And trust me, that's only the start. Things go way deeper than that.
That Dream Hampton was being financed and ran by Sean Carter. They were able to go and get all of these witnesses because he was there with Robert Kelly. How does Jay-Z sit down with Gayle King and she not ask him one question about the intersection between him and Aaliyah and Robert Kelly? This is insane. But everyone knows what's going on, and it's been going on for years. It's been going on before Diddy. See, people keep looking at him like he's this Sputnik that came out of nowhere. This is someone who was designed to be what he is. And if we're gonna do that, then we gotta go back. We gotta go back to even further, the mentors of these people. Because Diddy was taught how to do what he does systematically, and Clyde Davis has been his greatest teacher.
Jaguar Wright sat down for an interview with Piers Morgan and dropped claims that most people say she was never supposed to share. She talked about Jay-Z, Diddy, and just how deep their connections allegedly run. And what happened next had the internet buzzing. Viewers started noticing that the full episode disappeared almost instantly, wiped, buried, and nearly impossible to find. That made people even more suspicious, like someone didn't want those words floating around anymore. During that interview, Jaguar brought up a question that's been circling for years. How is it that Jay-Z can sit down with Gayle King on national TV and still never get asked about certain long-standing rumors or industry ties? Jaguar didn't hold back. She used strong words, even calling both Diddy and Jay-Z monsters, claiming their power has been crushing the industry for decades. And then came the part that stunned everyone, the Aaliyah theory. Jaguar pushed it further than most ever dared, claiming Jay-Z somehow had a connection to Aaliyah's tragic flight, saying it was personal and tied to who might have benefited afterward. Now, let's be clear, none of this has ever been proven. But the reason it keeps resurfacing is because Jay-Z has never publicly addressed those whispers. And in the digital age, staying silent doesn't come across as neutral. It looks like a choice. People couldn't help but ask the most obvious question. Why would Jay-Z's high-profile attorney suddenly be involved in Diddy's mess? Was it coincidence, connection, or something bigger happening behind closed doors? The timing had everyone suspicious, and the internet wasted no time digging for answers. Something about that link just didn't sit right.
Footage that was captured inside of a Los Angeles hotel in 2016 allegedly shows Combs assaulting then-girlfriend Cassie Ventura in a hallway. A now-settled lawsuit filed by Ventura claimed that she was trying to leave the hotel after a drunken Combs punched her. The video appears to show Combs chasing her down the hall, throwing her to the ground, and then repeatedly kicking her.
The running theory sounds simple but dangerous. Control the story before more names start getting dragged into the spotlight. Because if Diddy ever decides to speak, insiders claim a whole lineup of powerful people could go down right beside him. And that's exactly why the conversation keeps circling back to Jay-Z's rise. Because you can't talk about that era without mentioning Big L. Big L was one of the key figures who helped open doors for Jay early on, connecting him with Dame Dash and setting up big negotiations that could have changed the game for everyone involved. But then, just days after those talks reportedly started, tragedy struck. Big L was killed in a Harlem drive-by. The case remains unsolved to this day. Jaguar Wright and others have hinted that Big L's death might have been more than just random violence. They claim it was the first in a strange pattern of sudden, mysterious endings that seemed to clear the path for certain people to rise. Coincidence? Maybe. But when people start putting the timeline together, they say the pattern feels way too uncomfortable to ignore. Then we move up to level 2, where the story stops being about fame and starts being about leverage. At this level, sit names like Oprah Winfrey and Clive Davis. Critics have long pointed to Oprah's close proximity to Harvey Weinstein. The photos, the events, the public support, all while serious whispers about him were already floating around. That's where the big debate comes in. People argue that someone with Oprah's power could have shined a spotlight on the issue long before it exploded, but she didn't. And in these kinds of circles, silence often gets read as protection. Then there's the controversy surrounding the girls' school she funded in South Africa. Early allegations, staff fired, public statements made, yet critics still say parts of the story never quite lined up. That's why it keeps getting pulled back into these conversations about oversight, influence, and what the most powerful people choose not to see. When old photos and long-buried rumors about Oprah started resurfacing, people began describing her as quiet power, the kind of influence that doesn't need headlines or viral moments. They say one call from her can decide who gets booked, who gets sidelined, and who suddenly gets branded as difficult. That's real behind-the-scenes pull, silent but strong. Then comes Clive Davis, a certified music legend. As the longtime head of Arista Records, he shaped the sound of entire generations, launching the careers of some of the biggest names in music history. That's exactly why nobody dares to treat him like background noise. His shadow in the industry is massive. But here's where things start to sound messy. Suge Knight has claimed for years that Clive Davis and Diddy weren't just mentor and protege. He alleged their connection ran way deeper than business. There's no public proof of that. But the claim refuses to die because it fits perfectly into this larger story of hidden influence and loyalty that's too convenient to ignore. And whenever reporters tried to press Clive about Diddy, people point out those tense interviews, the awkward body language, the moments he looked uneasy, the quick topic changes. Again, not solid proof, but enough for the internet to grab hold of and replay endlessly like it's a silent confession.
A lot of people are curious about the status of P. Diddy.
Status of what?
P. Diddy. Diddy.
Puppy. The status of puppy.
All right. No comment from Clive Davis. on P. Diddy. Mr. Davis, you're a major influence on the career of P. Diddy. Have you spoken to him since the federal raid? Have you spoken to Sean Combs? Any comment, Mr. Davis?
Then there's the Whitney Houston angle. One story the public refuses to let fade away. The debate keeps circling her final days, the people around her, and what was really going on behind the scenes. Many believe the official version of events doesn't tell the whole truth. Over the years, comments from Whitney's own family have only fueled that suspicion, and online discussions always circle back to one bold question. How has Clive Davis carried decades of heavy rumors around him and never faced any real consequences? That's exactly where the fall guy theory comes in. A lot of people believe Diddy is being used as the face of the chaos, the lightning rod, while the real power players, the true gatekeepers, stay tucked safely in the shadows, untouched and protected by layers of influence that headlines can't reach. And now we reach the top of the so-called pyramid, the level that shocks people most. The name? Bishop T.D. Jakes. Yes, a pastor, a spiritual leader, someone seen as a moral figure. Yet 50 Cent has been hinting at that name for months, keeping it floating around in this tangled web of stories. The theory goes like this: if influence stretches all the way into the pulpit, then this isn't just about celebrity culture anymore. It's about a system. The idea is that Diddy needed legitimacy, someone with a clean, respected image to stand beside him, to make him look untouchable. Some people believe T.D. Jakes was that cover, a symbol of credibility placed right where Diddy needed it most. Observers also noticed how T.D. Jakes was featured in the Reckoning documentary rollout, not randomly, but strategically. Certain clips of him appeared at specific points, almost like signals. In one segment, when Lil Rod talked about waking up sore after being around Diddy's party circle, viewers noticed that right after, a clip of T.D. Jakes appeared, calmly speaking about love and energy. Many online believe that placement wasn't an editing coincidence. They think 50 Cent was sending a coded message through those cuts. Then comedian Cat Williams' words resurfaced, lighting things up again. He said 2024 would be the year when everything gets exposed, no matter who's involved. And the internet took it like a prophecy. From the studios to the pulpit, people are bracing for what might come next.
Check this out, bro. He led Biggs to his death. He caused a rift between Wolf and BMF that led to Wolf death. Cussed Wolf mother out. Lied about owing him $300,000. Cause you had asked me how I feel, and I'm gonna get into how I feel. Some people, their karma is so strong for what they do and what they did. The stuff that he did to Craig Mack, the stuff that he did to Black Rob, and all those people in the spiritual world right now. His karma was bound to catch up with him, brother.
When Bishop T.D. Jakes was finally confronted about the Diddy allegations, his response sent the internet into a full-blown frenzy. Instead of giving a firm denial or clearing the air, he simply said, "Keep it moving." But what really set things off was what he said next. Words that many people took as a shocking self-own. He mentioned that even if something like that were true, repentance has the power to cover sins, and then added that he didn't even need to repent for this. That statement hit like a spark in dry grass, and it blew up instantly. To the public, it didn't sound like confidence or innocence. It sounded like deflection. The reaction was immediate. People replayed that clip again and again, trying to decode what he really meant. Jaguar Wright wasted no time adding fuel to the fire. She claimed that if Bishop Jakes was ever around Diddy's party circles, it could only be for two reasons: money or access. She described those secret gatherings as leverage zones, places where influence was built and used against people. And according to her, there's allegedly video and audio floating around, recordings that capture powerful figures caught doing things they never wanted attached to their names.
This is what happens to the white man. It's so unfortunate. You gotta pull back though, so they can see. That's crazy. Matt, move out the way. You're still alive. Look at that. Look, what you get a drink out his head. And that's James from Simeon Mobile Disco. He is an actual DJ's not supposed to pass out, but when they come to one of my parties, this is what happens to them. Justin, you ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, you know, where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream.
Shout out to Diddy, Happy New Year. You know what it is, DJ Cal, it's all about victory. I'm going in. You better believe it. Shout out to Def Jam, we the best. You know what it is. It's 2010, baby. It's the takeover. I'm going in.
Whether any of these claims actually hold up is still a mystery, but once the public believes that receipts or footage might exist, the fear shifts completely. At that point, it's no longer just about rumors. It's about the possibility that real recordings are out there somewhere, waiting to surface. Jaguar Wright didn't stop there. She went even further, saying multiple men have allegedly come forward with stories that, in their view, link Bishop T.D. Jakes to that hidden world surrounding Diddy. No proof has been made public, but those claims keep multiplying online, fueled by whispers that legal teams are quietly making moves behind the scenes. And people keep paying attention because it fits the same pattern they've been pointing out for months. Power protects power until it can't anymore. Then former bodyguard Gene Deal dropped his own take, and it hit hard. He questioned why a respected religious leader would even be seen anywhere near parties described by insiders as anything but clean. Gene said it's tough to explain that kind of presence unless someone is either endorsing that environment or directly part of it. And the biggest twist, he hinted that he's heard whispers of tapes, recordings that might eventually surface. If that ever happens, he said, the conversation won't be about speculation anymore. It'll be about proof.
What people don't understand about Puff is this. He held the entertainment grip, especially for the people who was his former artists, in a chokehold. If you didn't do what he say do, if he didn't like you, you would never ever work for Bad Boy or anybody in the entertainment business again. He did it to Kirk Burroughs. You understand? He did it to Wendy Williams. He did it to a lot of people, bruh.
That's the real storm hanging over everything right now. Not just opinions, not gossip, but proof. The kind of proof that could shift the entire balance of power overnight. And when you zoom out, you realize this doesn't stop at music or Hollywood. It stretches across industries, politics, tech, and beyond. When Elon Musk sat down with Joe Rogan, their talk wasn't just another celebrity conversation. It was a breakdown of power networks. They were asking the real questions. Why do certain high-level names move the way they do? Why do some people always seem untouchable? Elon wasn't focused on policy or business strategy. His message boiled down to one emotion: fear. Fear of being exposed. Fear of what happens when the wrong doors get opened and the wrong secrets come to light. During that talk, Rogan brought up Reid Hoffman and asked if he seemed uneasy. Elon's answer was just one word: yes. From there, they started comparing the structure of these elite circles to something like an Epstein-style compromise system, where once someone's caught in a compromising moment, you don't need to argue or threaten them anymore. You own them. That's control at the highest level. And according to this theory, that's the very foundation of the entire pyramid. It's not about fame. It's not about talent. It's about control. And once you see it that way, everything starts to click. Why certain people never speak up, why some stories vanish overnight, and why a few powerful names stay protected no matter how loud the noise gets. Comedian Dave Chappelle once said it differently, but the message still hit the same nerve. He described the entertainment world like a trap, not just a bad contract, but a system built on control. When people asked him why he didn't just take his show somewhere else, he gave a chilling answer. He said it'd be like running from one plantation to another. Different master, same chains. So if someone as successful as Chappelle felt boxed in by that kind of system, what does that say about everyone else just trying to survive inside the machine? So after hearing all this, from Diddy's alleged secrets to Elon's data drops and the web of power stretching from studios to pulpits, what do you think is really going on here? Is this just a string of coincidences, or are we finally seeing cracks in something way bigger? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear what you believe. And if you thought this story was wild, trust me, this is only the surface. The next video dives even deeper into names and connections you didn't even know were involved. So go watch it now and let us know what you think.
Federal agents took Sean Diddy Combs into custody. They placed Combs under arrest and lead him out the front door in handcuffs.